It could turn criminal really fast. They're just using a civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that.
Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Things just got way more intense in the Shannon Sharpe drama, and we're not just talking gossip anymore. Mace just stepped in, and he's acting like this whole situation is way deeper than anybody guessed. He straight up thinks Shannon might end up behind bars.
Want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Mace claims this civil case is just a warm-up. He's saying they're trying to bleed Shannon dry, drain his cash so hard he won't even have enough left to hire solid lawyers when the real storm hits, the criminal case. And honestly, Mace might not be crazy because now more people are suddenly popping up with fresh claims against Shannon. And here's the kicker. Each one is messier than the last. And it's not just bad. It could destroy everything Shannon built.
Oh, this is what I'm getting at. And for him to offer 10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no 10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason that 10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the 10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right? So if there's a pimp, right? Why y'all keep laughing at?
ESPN might cut ties. His podcast. Toast. No more hot takes on TV. And forget about those fans calling him UNC. That image might already be shattered. But the real question is Shannon being targeted, or is there way more to this story than we've been told? Where are all these new so-called victims even coming from? This ain't adding up. Everyone's been sounding off with their own opinion, some defending him, some already canceling him. But Mace, he's saying this lawsuit is just a distraction. According to him, the real game is happening behind the scenes. And it's about to get ugly.
Right there. For real? Yeah, that worth a lot of money. You know how guys be, and they pushed her on her. And then she said 10. And he was like, 10 is my 10. You gotta put in your number for yourself. That don't have nothing to do with mine. 10 is mine. That's what we discussed. I'm just telling you.
The real danger for Shannon Sharpe might not be the lawsuit. It's the criminal case that could be forming behind the scenes right now. And when Mace pulled up on the It Is What It Is podcast with Cameron, he didn't hold back at all. He came straight out the gate asking one question that had the whole room quiet. Why didn't anyone tell Shannon that offering $10 million to his accuser was a terrible move? Like, seriously, what was he thinking? If you throw money at someone accusing you of something serious, it doesn't make you look innocent. It makes you look real shady. Mace called it out plain and simple. And he's not the only one side-eyeing that check. But then Mace hit us with something even crazier. At first, it sounded like a joke, but when you really think about it, it's low-key scary. He said the fact that Shannon's accuser refused that huge payout and still took him to court is suspicious. Like, who turns down that kind of money unless there's more going on?
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna, like, get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't...
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Here's the context. The woman, labeled as Jane Doe in the case, was later identified by internet sleuths as Gabriela Zuniga, a 21-year-old model who goes by Gabby online. She claims she met Shannon at a gym in LA when she was 19 and he was around 54. Shannon didn't just meet Gabby and move on. They actually got into a full-on relationship, but Gabby made it clear this wasn't no fairy tale romance. According to her, Shannon was controlling from the jump. She claims he expected her to be at his beck and call all day, every day, and when she wasn't around, he was checking up on her like a watchdog. And then it spiraled, hard. According to court docs, things hit a whole new level after that massive scandal Shannon had last year when he accidentally went live on Instagram during a private moment with another woman. Gabby says she was humiliated and tried to walk away from it all, but Shannon allegedly wasn't ready to let her go. She says he talked her into letting him come over so they could clear the air, but what happened next? She claims it turned into a nightmare. Once he got inside, Gabby alleges that he got physical and forced himself on her, even as she cried and begged him to stop. And it didn't end there. In January 2025, she says he came back, pretending he had gifts for her. But once again, things reportedly took a dark turn. She accuses him of forcing himself on her again, this time ignoring her repeated requests to use protection. She even claims he crossed another serious boundary without her permission.
We pray all of this is like a fallacy or some kind of hoax or something like this, because he was about to get a bunch of money. And you know, when you're about to get a bunch of money, people that hate on you just wait until you're about to get that money and rain on your parade. But we can't say that. And that's why I wanted to say it, to get Stats' opinion. I knew when I said that she was going to go, yeah. No, you can't be on your way to 100 million. I keep telling Killer, right? And niggas picking these kind of girls. You can't do that. We talked about this with Ant-Man. We talked about this with several players. You just can't do that. You about to get 100 million. You can't throw it away for an IG model. Is she an IG model?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. How does that work?
She got her separate account and she do her thing on there and people pay.
Right after that disturbing encounter, Gabby allegedly sent Shannon a heartbreaking message. In it, she told him she cried when he left and reminded him she had begged him to use protection and to respect her boundaries, but says he ignored her completely. Her words were blunt. No means no. She made it clear she didn't care about their past. What happened that night crossed the line. But things took a wild turn after the lawsuit hit the news. That's when Shannon's legal team clapped back by leaking a few texts Gabby had sent him, and they were intense, to say the least. One message from October 7th, 2023 had Gabby writing something extremely explicit, saying she wanted Shannon to dominate her in a way that left a lot of people stunned. Then there was another text sent just days before the second alleged encounter in January 2025, where she talked about what she'd do for $25,000 each time he cheated. Like, what? And it didn't stop there. More messages surfaced that painted a totally different vibe. In these texts, Gabby used some very provocative language, asking for intimate acts and calling Shannon daddy, saying she wanted him to give her a child. You better want it, because once you get it, you're stuck with it for life. That's what Gabby allegedly texted Shannon, hinting again at wanting a child with him. But here's where it gets real messy. Shannon's team thought dropping those wild messages would help him. Instead, it backfired bad. The internet didn't see Shannon as the victim. If anything, the move made him look even more out of control, but that was just the warm-up. Gabby's lawyer, Tony Busby, clapped back hard and released some shocking audio, recordings that turned everything upside down. In one clip, Shannon can be heard threatening to choke Gabby, saying she had no choice. That alone had people gasping. Then the second audio leaked, and this one hit even harder. It sounded like Shannon was all too ready to get physical with her, no hesitation. But here's where it gets interesting. Rumors started flying that those recordings were chopped up, edited to make Shannon look worse than he really was.
We also got to start paying attention, fellas, when they're telling you it's a civil suit. Don't feel like that's just a civil suit. If it's civil suit, but it's something criminal, it could turn criminal really fast. They're just using a civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that. Another way that people are just green to the streets, you know, that's just one entity trying to walk away some of your money, so that when they double back and say, well, this was you did this over here, because 9 times out of 10, if one girl say something, then somebody else gonna come say something, because they're like, people are getting paid, and people are getting paid for nothing. And I really got some issues, or they may really have a text or really have a message, and it's like, I don't know what to do or what to tell fellas now.
Some are saying this whole case might be bigger than just Shannon and Gabby's twisted relationship. That's why Mace keeps going back to that $10 million offer. Why didn't Gabby take it? If it was just about the money, wouldn't she have cashed out and walked away? The truth is, $10 million isn't a crazy number considering the stakes. But civil cases like this, they're tricky. It's easy for people to paint Gabby, the young of model, as someone just chasing a payday by tearing down a rich, famous man. So Mace threw out a heavy theory. And it wasn't just casual talk. He suggested the reason Gabby didn't take that $10 million, it might be because other people behind the scenes were pulling strings, and they wanted a piece of that settlement too. According to him, this whole situation popped off right when Shannon was about to land a massive $100 million podcast deal. Mace said it with a bit of sarcasm, but the internet caught on fast. The comments section lit up with people asking the same thing. Was Shannon Sharpe being set up? But Mace didn't stop there. He said Shannon fell into a trap that's taken down a lot of powerful men, especially once allegations start piling up. It's like a domino effect. Mace believes this first lawsuit, it's just the bait. It gets Shannon all worked up spending big money on legal fee before the real storm hits. And here's the wild part. Mace hinted that Shannon might be headed down the same road as Diddy. First comes the civil case, then more civil cases. And next thing you know, the feds are knocking at your door. Now let's be clear, nobody's saying these guys were forced to do what they're being accused of. This isn't about feeling sorry for them, but if the street talk is true, Shannon Sharpe's world might be flipping upside down real soon. These rumors aren't just living in comment sections anymore. They've spilled out into the real world loud and clear. The Gabby case alone was already shaking things up, but now Shannon's got even bigger problems. That's because all those skeletons in his closet, they're starting to crawl out fast. And let's be real, you know how the internet gets when it smells blood. Once the online detectives get involved, it's game over. They dig deep, like deep, to the point where some folks say they could rival the actual feds. As soon as Shannon's lawsuit went viral, those internet sleuths started hunting through his past looking for anything that might explain the behavior he's now being accused of. And guess what? They found plenty, and it's wild. One of the biggest bombshells? Word is, Shannon was previously accused of putting his hands around a woman's neck while working at S1's Undisputed. Yeah, you read that right. Sources say it involved a female production assistant, someone who worked behind the scenes. According to the Insider T, Shannon and Fox Sports settled the whole thing quietly, handing over a few $100,000 to make it disappear. No lawsuit was ever filed, but it didn't stay buried for long. The details leaked online, and now it's all coming back to bite. Now here's where things get extra suspicious. If you try looking up that alleged choking incident from Shannon's time at FS1, you'll barely find a trace. It's like it vanished. But nothing stays buried forever on the internet, especially when the streets start talking.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
As soon as this old story started picking up steam online, Shannon's legal team jumped into full-blown damage control. They rushed out a statement saying there was no choking incident on the FS1 set. Instead, they claimed it was just some light physical interaction in a playful context between Shannon and a few colleagues. Fox Sports supposedly handled the matter privately. But let's be real, what even is light physical interaction supposed to mean? That's not exactly the kind of phrase you use when denying something serious. If it was really all fun and games, why would it need a private settlement and a PR statement? And that's not the only strange piece from Shannon's past creeping back up. Another old case just resurfaced, and this one involves his ex, Michelle Evans. Michelle took Shannon to court in 2023 for defamation after already getting a restraining order against him. According to her lawsuit, Michelle and Shannon had a relationship that lasted almost a decade. But things blew up in September 2010 when she confronted him about cheating. She claims that during the fight, Shannon lost control and allegedly turned violent. Michelle accused him of forcing her into an act without consent, and it shook her to the core. After that fight, Michelle says things took a terrifying turn. She claims Shannon forced her onto the bed and assaulted her, telling her straight up that he would make sure no other man would ever want her. What's chilling? That's the exact same line Gabby says Shannon used on her years later. Gabby's lawsuit claims that in October 2024, after she tried to end their relationship, Shannon showed up at her apartment uninvited. She says he forced her to perform an intimate act on him, and while doing it told her, "You've disrespected me too much. I'm going to punish you." Then, according to Gabby, things got even worse. She says he assaulted her from behind without consent. And while she was crying and trying to pull away, he said something that made people's skin crawl. "Look at my arm, I've got chills, that's how good this is." Gabby says she was sobbing the whole time. Back to Michelle. After that alleged assault, she says Shannon became extremely violent. He reportedly threatened to destroy her if she ever spoke out, and it didn't stop there. Michelle says he began stalking her, calling nonstop, and constantly reminding her that he was watching. She was so scared she ended up filing for a restraining order just to feel safe. When this lawsuit resurfaced recently, Shannon's legal team fired back, accusing Michelle of trying to cash in on the moment. They called her part of the so-called Shannon hate train, saying she was just chasing money like the rest. Shannon's legal team came out swinging. They called Michelle's lawsuit old news, full of wild exaggerations, and a complete misrepresentation of the facts. They insisted the claims had zero merit and painted Shannon as an innocent man under attack. As for Gabby's lawsuit, Shannon straight up denied everything, calling it nothing more than a shakedown. But here's the thing, people aren't letting this one slide. The internet is still buzzing, and it's clear that Shannon might finally be realizing just how deep this rabbit hole goes. With multiple women coming forward and past accusations resurfacing, the pressure is building, and fast. It's no longer just about clearing his name, it's about whether or not he's headed to court, or worse, headed to jail. So what do you think? Is Shannon about to face serious charges, or will this all fade away like so many celebrity scandals before it? Let us know your take in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you're deep in the drama, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and share this with someone who needs to see the real story behind the headlines. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.